गुड आफ्टरनून बच्चों।
गुड आफ्टरनून सर।
चैप्टर 4 निकालो, पेज नंबर
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
गुड आफ्टरनून बच्चों। देखिए चैप्टर
गुड
4
आफ्टरनून सर।
चैप्टर 4
क्या सर?
चैप्टर 4 निकालिए। चैप्टर 4
निकाल
पेज
लिए सर।
नंबर गुड। अब आप आ जाए पेज नंबर 60। पेज नंबर 60 आ जाए। पेज नंबर 60 देखो, फिल्ट्रेशन दिखाई पड़ रहा है बच्चों?
यस सर।
देखो फिल्ट्रेशन, फिल्ट्रेशन फिल्ट्रेशन जो होता है, फिल्टर करते हैं। हाँ,
यस
tap
सर।
water. In order to make tap water fit, we often filter the tap water. तो इस प्रोसेस में क्या होता है? In this process, what happens? This process take care of the insoluble solid impurities are separated from water, from the water, to make it go fit, to make it fit for drinking देखो filtration filtration is therefore process of separation of solid impurities, insoluble solid impurities, insoluble solid impurities from a liquid. कौन insoluble होता है solid? इसमें आता है mud, leaves, from the liquid using a porous material. Using a porous material. नोट कर लो. Call the filter. Call the filter. So take care of some important lines are here. You can see, read it, write it. Filtration is therefore the process of separation of insoluble solid impurities like mud and tea leaves from a liquid using a porous material called filter. So we used to do the filtration with the help of filter. Filter is a porous material. When we put that liquid through the filter, the solid impurities is now you see. So after doing this filtration, we will do the activity related to filtration. We take some muddy water in a beaker and we take piece of filter paper. We cut the filter paper into circular tube. So what are the process? You come to you see here we have drawn a circular filter paper. We have taken a circular filter paper by cutting it, and it is folded in the form of cone. We fold this in the form of cone. Yes, you can see here. We have taken cone shape of filter paper. We have taken cone shape of filter paper. Now this cone is fitted into funnel. Let us see how to set up the total arrangement of filtration. We take a stand. We take a stand. Place it on the table. We have taken a funnel fitted with the clamp of the stand. This is called funnel. Fitted with the unfiltered paper cone is placed into it. Filter paper cone is placed into it. Filter paper cone is placed into it. Filter paper cone placed into it in the funnel with the help of glass rod. Put a beaker. Put a beaker. Take a glass. Take a glass rod. Pour muddy water over it. Muddy water, glass rod, keep it with hand. Deciding material is here. Residue, insoluble component. Insoluble component. So this is the diagram. We will see here. So for filtration, what you will take? You will take the filter paper, cut it with the circular shape, and fold it in the shape of cone. Place in the funnel. Take a glass rod, and muddy water kept in the beaker is poured over the glass rod. What happens then? The muddy water comes to the funnel. It enters into the filter paper, cone shape, placed in the funnel. Residue material just filtered at the mouth of the funnel, and clear water will comes into beaker. So filtrate clear water is a filtrate. Clear water is obtained. It is called filtrate. So you see in the diagram, Mostyn cone with some water, wet filter paper will now stick to the walls of the funnel. This funnel is placed on the funnel stand. Funnel stand is here. Now you will see here that when clean beaker is placed below the funnel, tip of the funnel should be within the beaker. This is the tip of the funnel. Inside the beaker, placed on the table. Clean water passes through the pores of the filter paper and gets collected in the beaker kept below the funnel. So this clear water is called filtrate. Clear water is called filtrate. So mud, which is solid impurities, remains on the top of the filter paper and is called residue. So you draw the diagram first and then you will write about activity 6, which is given on page 60. So all of you see the page number 60, activity 6, how filtration is done, what you will take for the filter. If you have the purpose to filter the muddy water, you take muddy water in a beaker, you take a piece of filter paper, you cut it in the circular shape and fold it to make a cone shape, then place it in the funnel. Funnel is fitted with the clamp. In the funnel stand, the lower end of the funnel just kept inside the beaker, which is placed below the funnel. When you pour the muddy water on the glass water pans, the muddy water just slide enters into the funnel and enters into the shape filter. The residue material which are insoluble remains at the wall. है ना? It is insoluble component, not soluble in water. And clear water is obtained in the second beaker place below the funnel, and we call it filtrate. So this is the process. What do you mean by residue? The insoluble solid component which remains in the filter paper is called residue material. So mud is remains on the top of the filter paper and it is called residue. Method of filtration is also used to separate out tea leaves from the tea, and we use sieve for it. Filtration is also used by the water works department to purify water. So they use layers of gravel and sand to filter very large quantity of water. So children, you see here the meaning of filtration and the process of filtration done by this very activity. You will note down and draw the diagram also. We will check it later on in the regular classes. Okay, note down. Have you written? Have you written? Muslin cloth, filter paper, cotton wool, charcoal, and even fine sand can also be used as a filter. The choice of filter depends upon the size of the particles to be removed. ठीक है. Now the next point is here. You come to the page number 61 now. Centrifugation. This is the method which is used to separate out fine particles suspended in the liquid by rotating the mixtures of high speed. Centrifugation, it is a method used to separate out fine particles suspended in a liquid by rotating at high speed. Centrifugation is done with the help of machine called centrifuge. The heavier particle tends to settle down at the bottom of the container, while the lighter ones stay at the top. Separating creams from the milk by churning it is an example of centrifugation, which is used in many households. Centrifugal and centrifugation often used in household. Centrifugation is widely used in dairies and at homes to churn out butter from cream. Butter, being lighter, floats at the top. A traditional long handed wooden churner is still in use to separate butter from cream. You can see the centrifugation process in the centrifuge machine. You can see the diagram of page 61. Yes, just verify, check your page number 61. Centrifugation, yes, you will see here.
Yes.
This is the machine where
Yes,
in
sir.
so many houses, है ना? आप लोगों ने देखा होगा ऐसा मशीन, और एक ट्रेडिशनल होता है जो निकाला जाता है, देखो,
Yes,
है
sir.
ना? हाँ, बस एक नॉलेज होना चाहिए, एक आइडिया होना चाहिए बस. अब क्या है? Mixture of liquids with liquid. Mixture of liquid with liquids. लिक्विड को लिक्विड से मिलाते हैं तो एक मिक्सचर बन जाता है. अब सेपरेटिंग इमिसिबल लिक्विड. इमिसिबल लिक्विड होता है. इमिसिबल लिक्विड का मतलब when oil gets mixed with water. अगर पानी में ऑयल मिला दोगे, it stays as a separate layer on the top. तो टॉप पर क्या आ जाएगा? ऑयल का लेयर आ जाएगा. लोअर लेयर इज ऑफ वाटर. नीचे का लेयर पानी, ऊपर का लेयर ऑयल. So liquid which do not dissolve in each other are said to be immiscible. तो ध्यान देना, the liquid which cannot dissolve into other liquid, that is called immiscible. So which do not dissolve in each other, mixture of two immiscible liquid gets separated into two separate layers. Separating funnel is used to separate out two immiscible liquid. तो इमिसिबल लिक्विड को कैसे सेपरेट आउट करोगे? उसके लिए आपको सेपरेटिंग ऑयल एंड वाटर का लेयर करना होगा. You take separating funnel, fit it in the stand, clamp it, and keep it vertically. And inside the separating funnel, put oil and water. Stop cork, just close the stop cork. Put beaker over the stand. So when some mustard oil is put in the water, mixed in water, what happens then? And it is placed in the separating funnel. and it is stand undisturbed for some time so that layers of oil and water gets clearly separated out. When oil and water mixture is placed in the separating funnel, the oil is remaining at the top and water inside below the oil. So when stopcock is rotated, separating funnel at the bottom of to let the lower layer water move out into the beaker. So with the help of stopcock, we can just take the water in the another beaker, place below the mouth of the separating funnel, and slowly when water layer is allowed to move out of the separating funnel, what happens? And stopcock is used to stop the flow of the water. The oil reaches the tip and oil is left behind in the separating funnel and water is collected in the vehicle just capped below. So in this way, we see that water and oil are get separating out. So how the immiscible liquid which cannot dissolve into any other liquid can be separated out with the help of the separating funnel. So separating immiscible, how to set up? Separating immiscible liquids. Stand is taken, funnel is clamped, separating funnel, oil, water, stop off, water. This is bigger. So this is the diagram. You can see how we draw the diagram for separating the immiscible liquid. You also draw this diagram how to separate the oil and water. Immiscible liquid means oil and water. Oil and you draw the diagram and write the step of stand, separating funnel, stopcock, beaker, oil and water. With the help of the stopcock, water is taken in the beaker and oil is kept in the separating funnel. So this is the method of separating the oil from the water. So this is activity 7, you will see. Children, we have studied today two things. One filtration, other is how to separate out the immiscible liquid. You have to write down these two topics and you will show me later on in the regular classes. Filtration, number 1, activity of filtration. Second, centrifugation, how it is used. Third, how to separate the immiscible liquid.
Yes, sir.
Don't open your camera when you are not in uniform. Who is sitting in front of the mobile, not in the uniform? If you are at home, you remain there. Chalo. Combining two or more method of separation. We have discussed different method of separation in the isolation. In actual practice, if the mixture contains a number of substances, their separation involves a combination of two or more of these different method. The selection of the method depending upon the properties of the different component present in it. So to separate sugar, salt and iron nails from the mixture, what we have to do in activity 8, it is given on page 63. The step is magnetic separation. Number 2 is filtration. And number 3 is evaporation. We know that iron nails are separated by using magnet and sand and sugar are left behind. Filtration. Put the mixture of the sugar and sand in a beaker containing water and stir it till sugar get dissolved. filter the solution, sand gets collected on the filter paper, and sugar dissolved in water comes out in the filtrate. Evaporation. Heat the sugar solution till the water evaporates, sugar crystal will be left behind. So activity 8 also explains about how to separate the sugar and iron nails from a mixture. Sugar, sand, iron nails from a mixture. So today, okay children, we will study later on. In the next day class, we will once again discuss so many things. Okay,
Have a nice day, sir.
okay.